All right. Hello. So this is not the intention. Don't you hate it when you do everything right, yet everything goes wrong? Let me see. So if anybody's watching, thank you for just popping in. I can't see anything right now. I can't see if I'm in frame. I can't see the chat. I cannot do anything. It is so damn frustrating. What am I trying to do? Hello, Pete. Thank you for joining. Were you waiting in the other stream that's not happening? And this stupid YouTube beta keeps popping up. It's forcing you to do the beta. You have zero choice to do the beta. And yet there's things not in the beta. So, switch back to the regular one for streaming specifically. Wait, where's the other one? I made 2 of these. Pete, was this the only stream that you saw? Because I made 2 streams. I don't know why the other one didn't pop up. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, it's going. Thank you for joining. The other thing I don't have access to is sharing my screen. I don't know how to do that from this. Oh, you got the notice. Okay, that's good to know that the notices are working. So once Meg and I finally finish, or I might just have to do it on my own because I really need this computer. I need that streaming computer built. I have no choice. I got to do it. I'm just gonna have to finish it on my own. I need that so that way I can do my full setup. Right now, I have no way to show you my screen. That's just it. Everything else worked fine with the audio. It's just the one camera I wanted to use the Canon, so it looks better. This looks kind of meh. But I need that second streaming computer built. I just have to finish it. I can't wait any longer. And it looks like at least the microphone's working. Is this a share button? Hello, Delvin. Thank you for joining. Okay. Variable resolution. And thank you, Pete, but it's very white. It's way too white back here. And like this isn't, the leaves are not green, they're white. But thank you. Okay. Now let me share this out. Also, since I can't share the screen, we could talk about the European forecast model. Hey. Now, I think my Creator Studio should actually show this. Or that was just wishful thinking. Yep, that was wishful thinking. YouTube is terrible. Anybody else realize that? As a creator, it's just terrible. But there's no other option. It's YouTube or nothing. Oh well. You know what that means? A little tropical drink from the Atlantis Cup. So cheers, everybody. Ooh, a little strong. Yeah, DLive I've done. DLive, I had to stop. I could not upload videos. All of a sudden, just it would reject every single video because there's uploading a video takes so long on there. The fit and finish for DLive I haven't done, but DTube, the fit and finish for DTube just sucks. YouTube, you upload a video, it's done. The systematic parts for YouTube are great. It's just that the control parts that YouTube wants to control everybody, that's the terrible part. And also, DTube, I was actually making revenue on until all of a sudden I just couldn't upload videos anymore. There was like 7 different phases that this video had to go through. It had to upload to a blockchain, then it had to process the blockchain, then it had to upload to all of these, like 7 different things, 7 steps it had to go through. And if one thing went wrong, and with blockchains, it happens very often. And for me, it happened every time late at the last part of it. It just got so frustrating I couldn't upload any videos, so I just gave up on DTube. DLive, I haven't tried before, but YouTube is really the only feasible option, unfortunately. And YouTube is not even going to be watching this, so I could bash YouTube as much as they want, as much as I want, because they don't care enough for 119 subscribers. If I have it 119,000 subscribers, they would. But anyway, we're going back to talking about the weather. It's beautiful out here. And this is something also, how does this microphone sound? I have it set up kind of like a podcast style. This is the same microphone that I have when I do my videos I'm holding. It's just here, it's nice and it's better for the noise because even from standing off to the side, it has a very, very narrow pickup pattern. So you can barely hear me here, but you can hear me fine here. Raymond, thank you for joining. Thank you, Pete. I'm glad because this setup, and I have actually from the news station some audio people that I've asked, and they've given me some great suggestions for audio setup, and I think this works really well right now. The pickup pattern I have, what do I have the gain up all the way, but I think it works pretty fine right now. And I have actually had with this interesting setup, I have a mute switch on YouTube for the stream. I have a mute switch on the encoder, or not the encoder, the what's it called? Digital audio interface. I have a mute switch on that, and I have an on-off switch on the microphone itself. Kind of interesting. And you know what else is interesting? Do you guys hear any background noise? Because there's a lawnmower and a blower right next door, and I don't hear it actually in the stream audio. That's how well this microphone blocks out a lot of these background sounds, and I am very glad I got this Prime Day deal. Was this microphone? All right. And Raymond, I would think that there would be some flash flooding. So since I actually can't show you any of the video screens, we're just going to talk through it. This one's really going to be just a talking head kind of a stream here. But I feel like I'm more on radio. So this is going to be a bit of a radio style, which is kind of what a podcast is, I guess you could say. Anyway, so what we're going to do is take a look at the National Weather Service. I got to make this a little bit more towards me. There we go. So we're going to start with the National Weather Service here. I'm just curious to see if any kind of flash flood watches or warnings have popped up yet. And it looks like no. So nothing yet. The only thing on, and what I'm actually going to do is just show everything, every website I'm looking at besides the copyrighted stuff. I'm going to drop into the chat. There we go. So that is what I'm looking at right now to look for any watches, warnings, advisors, watches, warnings. Thank you, Pete. Sounds almost as good as Howard Stern. Tech Man, thank you for joining. Good afternoon. It's a beautiful afternoon. Although with Howard Stern's show, I'm not going to be going down that route, so don't worry. But even just listening to this in the headset, I'm listening to myself as I'm talking, and it sounds really good. Especially, so this is, if anybody's familiar with audio, this input here, this is called XLR. So it's an XLR connection out of the microphone into, I don't have enough space to actually pick it up, but it's a Shure, it's called the MVI. It's in direct sunlight right now, which I don't think it should be in direct sunlight. But it's about all we have to do for right now. So this takes the XLR, and it has a combo XLR and a quarter-inch jack. So if I have a guitar, I could plug an electric guitar, I could plug that into here. And then that takes the signal, amplifies it because it's plugged in over USB. So it takes the power from the USB source, which is my laptop right now, and it's taking that power, amplifying the signal, and then that digital signal it takes from the analog input, the computer then feeds. Okay, so looking at that, let me turn this, there we go. So a little bit this way. So looking at the National Weather Service here, there's no watches, warnings, or advisories at the moment. But the one thing we're going to look at, the hazardous weather outlook. So if you're following along on that page I sent, you're going to click on hazardous weather outlook. Hazardous weather outlook now, let's see, is for southern Delaware, central New Jersey, and southern New Jersey. A period of heavy rainfall is possible late tonight as an area of low pressure lifts north along the East Coast and across the Mid-Atlantic region. This may result in areas of urban, small stream, and poor drainage flooding. So that's kind of what I've been seeing especially when I was looking from last weekend for the week ahead. The first couple days, a stellar start to the week. Yeah, and it still is right now. It's a great beginning of the week, but we're to see this big change that I talked about. And that's kind of what the National Weather Service is saying as well. For those that are curious, so this is some rum, Bacardi, but specifically, I got this from a party, Bacardi Limon. So it's lemon flavored Bacardi, and it's a wild berries tropical juice. So together, it tastes really good. Oh, interesting, Pete. I actually haven't looked at that. So anything in the Pacific, I don't normally look at just because, especially when I'm working on the television, I'm focusing on mostly the Northeast, specifically Northern New Jersey, Long Island, and the lower Hudson Valley. That's what I'm in charge of when I work at the television station. But Cyclone Yayu, 300,000 evacuated. So what we're going to do now, because of that, and thank you for bringing that up, I'm going to go to the National Hurricane Center. So new tab, nhc.noaa.gov. But specifically, that's not on there. Nope, never mind. I wasn't sure if they were going to talk about it, but they're not. Is there any zone out here? No, there is no zone. I have Atlantic, Eastern Pacific, and Central Pacific. I don't have Western Pacific, unfortunately. But it's interesting there. And what I'm going to look at now, and I'm going to also drop this in the chat, is the satellite. Where is this? So this sun is moving pretty quick. The audio interface is not that much in the sun anymore, but the laptop is, and I feel it heating up. So with the COD site, this is where the Go 16 satellite, this is where I usually use for this. All right, so this right now is showing the continental US, but I'm going to drop it in here. And from this site, then we could change some of the regions. And it's just still, I thought this one would be better. No, it's still not showing. Oh, wait. I'm on east. Let's go to west. Yep, not showing it. It shows Hawaii. Central Pacific is all I can see on here. The forecast models, I think, would be a little bit different. But actually looking at this now, the quality for the video actually looks really good. This webcam, I'm glad I got it. It's just the background's a little bit bright. Oh, speaking of that, and I have a lot of reflection coming up from the bottom here. So since I have the light, what do you guys think? Little goatee action going on. You may have seen this in the past couple of videos. I'm even looking in the reflection in my window. So I'm not going to be connecting the mustache to the beard part. What do you guys think? Okay, so I can't see that. Oh, also, I tried to set up OBS on my laptop and it just would crash every time. Oh, it's not going to work now. Even though this is a good microphone, I don't think it's blocking out that train behind me. Even though I'm near Howard Stern quality radio. Sirius XM. Too early to tell? Okay. And I'm not going to have it. I can only have it one more month because the television station we're not allowed to have facial hair. And now that I'm not regularly there anymore and I'm more fill-in, the next time I go in, I have to shave it. So I'm gonna let it grow out just a little bit more. This is 9 days, so it grew in pretty fast. Okay, so since I can't see anything out into the Pacific, we're gonna focus back on our region. But at least in terms of the Atlantic, there's really not much happening there. I got some bugs around here. But yeah, there's not really much happening in terms of the Atlantic. What I do really want to focus on, though, is the rain coming in tonight because it looked like it could be pretty bad. The next thing I'm going to bring up is the Storm Prediction Center. It doesn't look like there's anything here. There is a little bit for tomorrow. So here's the website. And Pete, no, not Orange County, more south of that. I don't think I've tried this. I'm streaming straight through Google Chrome. I don't think I've tried this in a while. But it seems to be working fairly well. And Pete, you're welcome. The only thing is if I look at something, I can't see any of the analytics or the chat. So I'm swapping back and forth between tabs in Chrome. It looks like so E3 is happening this week. There's a lot of things announced already, and we're going to talk about some of that in tomorrow's live stream. So tomorrow, instead of Full Throttle Thursday, which is usual, I'm going to actually do Games and Storms tomorrow. My plan, and I apologize I didn't get the my plan out for you guys, but I wanted to get Games and Storms out a little bit later in the week because there's a lot of video game news happening right now with E3. Okay. So YouTube does say stream health is good. Huh. 1 second here. Okay. What was I doing? Oh, I just want to get the analytics up. There we go. I like to see the analytics while things are going up. And yes, Pete, what a perfect day today. So next door, actually the kids are out. It looks like they're playing in the pool. They have a little inflatable pool. The neighborhood I'm in is pretty quiet. And there's really not much going on around here. But it's a pretty. I like it. That's why I chose this place. Also because of the studio, the green screen studio. It was perfect because there's a spot for the edit bay. Oh, oh, I am going to be showing you guys. So if you can, I want you to watch my playlist for the studio vlog, studio build vlog. It's called specifically. The wind kicked up, but I don't hear the wind. This is I like this microphone. There. I just heard a little bit of wind noise there. But this setup is really cool. So studio build vlog. If you check out that playlist on my channel, that's going to go through from day one of that studio, which was so echoey. The equipment, like all of this that I have now, I didn't have any of it there. And it's a real nice sense of accomplishment to see that I built this business that I have. I built it. And also, Pete, perfect day. That's why I chose to do this outside. So when I can, I like to do the streaming outside. Although I would like to try and get that streaming computer good to go. So I would have, and that's why it's the older system. So I can bring that outside and not worry as much as my current gaming computer. I don't want to bring that, especially with the tempered glass side panel. I don't want to travel too. I don't want to carry that around too much. So the other one is designed to be a little bit more mobile, and that's the one I'll be using for streaming. I have a capture card in there, so instead of the webcam, I would have my Canon camera hooked up. So even though I look really good, like I'm looking at myself and it looks really good with the quality, it's just the background, it's too bright. It's too sensitive is the Logitech webcam I'm using right now. But I'm going to be able to start filming that again as I make some changes, and I got some changes coming up for the specifically the edit bay area of that studio. So definitely, if you're not subscribed already, anybody watching, hit that little subscribe button below so you get notified whenever I upload or go live like this or upload a video, which will have a lot of content coming out for you guys. And so I'm feeling the hot parts of the computer moving around. Percentage. There we go. Okay, we're good with battery percentage, so that's still good. There's also the laptop is not just powering itself. The laptop's powering the webcam. It's powering the digital audio converter, which powers the microphone. Oh, you like those fireside? So that was Live by the Fire. I'll bring that back if you like it for the viewers. I'll bring that back. I actually did that. I was considering it last Saturday night because I had my friend Stanley, and he has his own YouTube channel. So Stanley and I were outside. So I'm up on my porch right now, down a little bit more. Like one story down is where my driveway is. We had the fire out there, the fire pit going. We just had some beers, just talked about life. So we'll bring that back. And maybe, I don't know if he would be interested, but maybe I'll have him, we could live stream it together. So I'll live stream to my channel, he'll live stream to his channel. But he's mostly into music videos, so he may not do a live stream, but he does Instagram stories and all that. Okay, back to what we're expecting for this week. Why is this up to? Wow, this is low latency. Wow, that was pretty. I'm watching it back. It's low latency. I'm glad. Okay. Anyway, so the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow is showing not any kind of severe risk. It's at the lowest end, just the general thunderstorm scale. There is a marginal risk. It looks like for West Virginia, Virginia, Pennsylvania, a little bit going into Ohio. I'm not sure if I think that's it. It's kind of hard to see at the moment, but it looks like it's West Virginia, Northern Virginia, Western Pennsylvania, maybe a little bit of Ohio it's cutting into, but that's for tomorrow. That's where a higher chance of the severe thunderstorms are, but we could be seeing thunderstorms throughout the Northeast. Oh, here comes a gust of wind. Can you see it? Yeah, there we go. You can see that gust of wind there. Okay. All right, so we got looks like some severe weather. Now I'm going to start bringing up the forecast models, and we're going to go through that. And again, for anybody that likes to follow along, the good old Tropical Tidbits website, I'm going to link that into the chat. tropicaltidbits.com, specifically the model analysis or forecast models section. And this usually starts in the country view just to get a little sneak peek at what's going around in the country. Well, we have the high pressure. Obviously, we have a high pressure going on right now. Am I right? And that high pressure is giving us some pretty nice conditions. But as this high pressure makes its way out, it does look like it's going to be increasing the pressure gradient with these isobars. Because no, I can't link any. I don't think I can link. No, I can't. Never mind. But what's happening essentially here is we have a high pressure, a low pressure, and another high pressure. And they are very close together. It's not any kind of blocking pattern just yet. Because it's kind of the opposite. An omega block would have a high and two lows. This is two highs and a low. So it's not really a blocking pattern. And a Rex block, another common one, is a high to the north and a low to the south. It's neither of those. But because the high, the low, and the high are so close together, it looks like we're getting the increased pressure gradient. So even though it's nice out right now, it's very breezy, and the breeziness may not go away. So specifically right now, I am looking at the GFS. Oh, wait, I think I know what I can do here. Hold on. Can I do this? There we go. There we go. I got a split screen going on here. So I can see myself a little bit, but I can also see the chat, which I had to keep switching back and forth between. Okay, now we're looking at the GFS, and we're just going to. Ooh, that's a pretty strong gust of wind there. Let's see. I'm switching to the region of the Northeast because that's kind of what we're focusing on now. Let's see. Yeah, so as the rain starts to come in, the pressure gradient is still going to be high. So tomorrow looks like it's going to be a windy, rainy day, which is a big change compared to what we saw the past couple of days. It is really nice, especially today and yesterday. Monday, it was not good. But Thursday looks like we're going to have quite a bit of rain too. And then again, behind the rain, so going into, say, 12Z on Friday, it looks like another higher pressure gradient. So another windy day on Friday as the high pressure is looking like it's passing to the south. Then going into the weekend, Saturday still looks dry. And this is just from the GFS at the moment. We'll get to the others in a bit. But it looks like the high stays to the south on the GFS. And once we start getting into Sunday, the pressure gradient starts to go down. But again, later in the day on Sunday, going into Sunday night, that's where we do have some more showers and rain. And then going into Monday, looks like some scattered showers here and there through the day. Then again, Monday evening. Oh, this looks like kind of a well-defined line. And this well-defined line is kind of common what we would see with a cold front coming through. And remember, we always talk about the kinkiness, the kinks in those isobars. So you have, instead of just a curve, you have a curve and a little kink, and then the rest of the curve. That is where the cold front lies. And we're kind of seeing that line kind of go through. And it looks like we may be seeing some more thunderstorms. What was this, Monday? And so this is Monday at about 8 p.m., which is 0Z Tuesday. So Monday night, we could be seeing, it looks like, some more. Then as that passes, going into Tuesday, the pressure gradient goes up a little bit, but not that much. And then going into next Wednesday, a week from today, high pressure is in place for a bit. But it looks like that's just for the morning. Then going later in the day, some showers come in, but not for everywhere. This looks like southern Jersey. So it looks like it's going to be more so, say, Toms River and south in New Jersey. Let's see here. Okay, good. That's going. Okay, so that's the GFS view. Now we're going to switch to the icon view. And there's the icon. Good, that loaded in. Which one do I have? Okay, I have the 180-hour one. So I'm using the 12Z icon at the moment. And yeah, it looks like this has any rain starting between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. That's when it looks like the rain is actually starting for this. And Thursday morning, we could be seeing some pretty intense rain. And the icon model is a higher resolution just by a little bit, I believe, than the GFS, because the GFS is the G is the global part, and that's 100-kilometer resolution. So it's not that high resolution, but it does go out quite a bit. Goes out 384 hours, which 384 divided by 24 hours in a day is 16 days. So the GFS essentially goes out half a month. But anything really beyond a week on the GFS, it's a little shaky there. The icon, I don't know what the resolution is for the icon, but the NAM, 12-kilometer NAM, 3-kilometer NAM. What was the other one? The HRRR, that's a 1-kilometer resolution. We are on the advent of getting even higher resolution forecast models. That may be within the next decade. Ooh, that's strong, but it's good. Let's see. So there may be some storms in here, but I don't think severe weather. And as this goes through, it looks like, so because the icon is a bit of a higher resolution forecast model, it's showing a little bit more detail. And what it's showing here is there we go. What it's showing is in the morning up until 15 or 18Z, some pretty heavy rain, and then there's a gap. And then maybe a little bit more shower activity in the evening, but not as heavy, because it looks like it almost splits into two separate systems. That makes its way out. And then going into Friday again, the increased pressure gradient. We have those isobars getting close together. So another windy day. High kind of scoots to the south, kind of what we were seeing before. For Saturday, then going into Sunday, maybe some more scattered showers, specifically in the evening Sunday, then going into overnight Sunday into Monday. Some more rain, and then Monday evening, very similar to the GFS. It looks like a little bit of a line. It's just not as intense on the icon model as it was on the GFS. Give me 1 second there. Okay. You want to cough in your ears. There's a lot of long cable with this. Okay. So that's the icon through Tuesday. Now, Tuesday, it's also showing some more storms in the evening. I don't think the GFS showed that. Let's see. The GFS on Tuesday. Yeah, this is totally different. The GFS on the evening on Tuesday. It shows absolutely nothing. But then I switched to the icon. There's a little bug of some sort kind of flying around here. Where's that tiny bee? I don't know. Flew away, thankfully. But the icon, totally different view on the icon than it was on the GFS. Oh, there's also a notice at the top of Tropical Tidbits. I don't know if anybody noticed the notice. June 12th. What's today? Today. The 12Z run. With the 12Z run, the GFS will be upgraded to version 15 FV3 based. Okay, NCEP data is erratic. Erratic. Oh, this is right from the acting director of the National Center for Environmental Prediction. Very interesting. The National Weather Service, and let me drop this in the chat so you guys can follow along too. There it goes. So essentially what this is saying is effective on or about Wednesday, June 12th, beginning with the 12Z Coordinated Universal Time, which is UTC, the National Centers for Environmental Prediction, NCEP, will upgrade the Global Forecast System, the GFS model, from version 14 to 15.1. National Weather Service and NOAA selected the Finite Volume Cubed Sphere Dynamical Core as the next generation global prediction system. The FV3 was developed by the Geophysical Fluid Dynamics Laboratory under NOAA's Office of Atmospheric Research. The current operational GFS version 14 has a spectral dynamic core. The GFS version 15.1 uses the FV3 dynamical core and improved physics parameterization. Yeah, I have no idea what that means. Let's see if the dictionaries can find out. parameterization. The process of defining or choosing parameters. Okay. Oh, parameterization. Okay. Dynamical core and improved physics parameterization. There we go. So this I'm going to have to send to the weather chat, the other FiOS 1 forecasters and some from News 12 that I work with. So I'm going to send that to them, see if anybody knew about this. Let's see. Let's keep investigating here. Kind of like the little beard there. It has something for me to think about and ponder. GFS version 15.1 maintains a horizontal resolution of 13 kilometers and has 64 levels in the vertical, extending up to 0.2 hectopascals. It uses the same physics package as the current operational GFS, except replacement of Zaucar microphysics with the more advanced GFDL microphysics. Okay, so we got that. Newly introduced parameterization of middle atmospheric water vapor photochemistry. Revised bare soil evaporation scheme. Okay, so it takes in some soil evaporation into there. Modified convective parameterization scheme to reduce excessive cloud top cooling. I didn't know that was an issue. Okay. That was good. Anyway, so what this is saying is the modified convective parameterization scheme to reduce excessive cloud top cooling. What that kind of implies to me is that the current GFS forecast model was cooling the cloud tops a little bit too much. And if the cloud tops are cooler than what the actual atmosphere is doing, when we look at a skew T, for instance, the parcel of air that rises, if the GFS forecast model thinks the cloud tops are cooler, one thing that can happen is with the parcel and the air around it in those cloud tops could, if it's cooler, the parcel will rise faster with convection. So it could mean it's over forecasting the amount of convection available. That's one idea, but I'm glad to see that it has they're improving consistently. EMC has conducted 3 years of retrospective experiments, including the real-time parallel covering the past 3.5 years for a comprehensive evaluation of the QT fiscal year 19 GFS implementation. GFS V15 shows equal or improved forecast skills in many areas, especially for the 500 hectopascal height, 500 millibar, anomaly corrections, precipitation, diurnal cycle, and ETS score with the continental U.S., surface 2-meter temperatures, stratospheric ozone and water vapor, and hurricane intensity over all basins. Several individual case studies illustrate the model occasionally produces excessive snow in the medium range. So it's over forecasting for the snow, which we have seen the forecast models putting out more snow than actually happened. EMC will continue to explore ways to address these issues. Changes, here we go. Changes to a data assimilation. Infrared atmospheric sounding interferometer moisture channels. Add advanced technology microwave sounder. All sky radiances. So this is actually quite interesting that they're doing this upgrade here. With this upgrade, the following changes occur on either the NSEP web services. Excuse me, there's a couple of links in there. Changes to the directory structure for the NSEP web services. Oh, there's a whole bunch of information in here. We're not going to read through everything. But for questions regarding data flow aspects of these data sets, please contact Carissa Klemmer, NCO Implementation and Data Services Branch Chief. And there's a phone number and a website. If you want public relations, please contact Lauren Gatches, NOAA Public Affairs, desk phone number, cell number, and her email. All right on the bottom and the last page of this article. Very interesting. Too bad I can't have it on camera to actually share with you guys, but it's working. There we go. Move some things around. The wind. The wind calmed down for a little bit. Ha! Raymond. There we go. Wait a second there. Sorry for hitting the microphone. There we go. Now I can get this behind me. Okay. Raymond, I bet the GFS will be broken after a month. I'm probably going to join that bet with you. With this upgrade, I am assuming something's going to go wrong somewhere. That's kind of just how it works with upgrades. Especially big ones. These forecast models, they take a lot of computing power. Supercomputers like the Watson supercomputer, it still takes 4 hours for these supercomputers to crunch all of the numbers necessary to give us a usable operational forecast model. It still takes 4 hours for a supercomputer to process this. Think about that. A football stadium size computer with today's technology, the latest technology, that much computing power, it still takes 4 hours. That was what I was dealing with the new Canon camera. It's very great footage, but it just takes the editing, the computer necessary to edit the footage needed to upgrade, which is what I'm doing. So that took a while to edit. I can just imagine. The NAM has been broken for 45 years. You hurt the NAM's feelings, Raymond. Yeah, the NAM. Okay, the NAM is the NAM, as they would say. But I don't know if I heard anything recently about the NAM being upgraded, because now we just talked about the GFS being upgraded. I'm still trying to figure out why for this stream it says variable resolution stream. That's quite interesting. But from a rocky start, getting started, it's working pretty well. Let's see. The MacBook, it's working hard. Oh, I feel the processor, but this MacBook is getting traded in, and so is the iMac. Both of them I'm trading in towards one souped up computer, and this souped up computer is just about the same price as trading the two computers in. So that's a worthwhile upgrade to me. I hear the wind again. Oh, this is sucking up battery, but we're just about an hour. 55 minutes. So I was planning on keeping this at about an hour. Got a little bit more time, so I think 3:45-ish is when I started. So we'll go to about 4:45, so maybe another 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. The CMC has been broken since the launch date. They're still in beta. Let's go with that. The Canadian model has never gone out of beta. It's just always been in beta and will always be in beta. Raymond, you know the feelings that Joe Chaffee has with the beta, with the Canadian, and I share the exact same feelings about the Canadian. Oh, and the Deep Thunder model on the IBM service that we have access to. He calls it the Deep Blunder model. It's not a public model that anybody can access right now. And apparently there's some issues with it because it used to be a 15-kilometer resolution, which was decent. That went out 144 hours. That has changed now back down to 72 hours, just like the regular RPM model. And I guess they're trying to work on it. Oh, so let's bring up a couple of those. So I'm going to go into the model lab specifically. Model lab, there we go. So I'm just going to go into the only one that works is the European. Fair enough, although the European model does have its own issues. But from case studies that I've done in college, one of my college professors, he's a doctor and has spent decades studying hurricanes. What he said is if the European forecast model picks up on a hurricane coming out of the tropics, which is kind of where they usually start, but not always. Sometimes they don't start in the tropics. And the tropics, just to define it, is 20 degrees north latitude to negative 20 degrees or 20 degrees south latitude. The 20 degrees north, 20 degrees south, right near the equator there. That's the tropics. If a hurricane is formed and comes out of the tropics on the European forecast model, that is something you have to watch out for. And that was proven by Sandy. Hurricane Sandy came out of the tropics, and the European forecast model picked up on that like 10 days, 8 days before, something like that. Now, being I had access to it, I was able to see these very long-run European model there. Some of my close-knit friends and family, I kind of gave a little warning to over a week ahead of time. The challenge, especially that, is doing anything broadcasting like this, webcasting. Or especially television. If 8 days out, I say that New Jersey is going to be hit by a hurricane, 8 days from now, number one, viewership will go up quite a bit, which is good. But that means there's a huge bust potential, because if I say New Jersey will be struck by a devastating hurricane, which Sandy was a devastating hurricane, but if I said that those 8 days in advance, that I saw the potential for it to be, if it didn't happen, I would look like a laughingstock. And if I was on television at that point, because that was my senior year of college. Was it my senior year? Yeah, that was my senior year of college. If I was actually on television and I said that 8 days in advance and nothing happened, I might be fired. I think Al Roker was one of the first to talk about it, and he talked about it maybe 4 or 5 days in advance to say how devastating this hurricane looks like it's going to be. So there's a whole, with this forecasting, there's a whole responsibility aspect to it. So if you look online and look for people that actually post the raw forecast models online and be like, this is the European, this is what we're looking at. The European is very good. Trust the European. they're not real meteorologists, or they're just on a hype train or something like that. Because that's not what real meteorologists do. We look at all of the forecast models, we internalize it, and that's where we make our own, because one forecast model will never be right. It's a process of actually looking at all of them together. Okay, with some of the remaining time that we have for this live stream here, we're going to look at, I'm just going to bring up, speaking of the European, let's just briefly look at the European, or I'm going to look at the European and just talk about it. I'm just, Raymond, thinking about what, I don't know if it was a hype day, because that wasn't media. The Storm Prediction Center themselves put out that high risk, which they don't base on individual models. They look at all of the models together. So that, I think, wasn't about hype. It was nothing about hype. I think it was out of an overabundance of caution, because all of this goes back to November of 2018, that snowstorm. We were saying maybe 3 to 5 inches of snow, and then it ended up being like 6 to 8 inches of snow, and some people saw a foot. So at best, 3 to 5. So at best, say we were 2 inches of snow under forecasted. At worst, it was about 6 inches of snow under forecasted. So that caused a lot of issues, especially because everybody's playing the blame game. Oh, those meteorologists. Oh, they gave a bad forecast. Oh, the transit wasn't ready. Oh, the road workers, there was not enough salt, or whatever it was. They all blamed that it wasn't prepared for enough. It wasn't forecasted properly. So that's where I think specifically, Raymond, for that May 20th high risk, I think they did that out of an overabundance of caution to say, hey, and don't get me wrong, there was a total chance of a severe tornado outbreak that day. It just wasn't 100%. And there's never 100%, but it wasn't a high enough chance to say for certain that it's going to be something like that. But I think what it was about was more of, hey, there's a chance for this. It may not happen, but I just want to let you know to keep an eye out. That's kind of what they wanted. And to call it a high risk, that was extremely overabundance of caution. To say it like I did, I just want, hey guys, I just want to let you know there's a chance that we could see a tornado, a severe outbreak, a tornado outbreak in this area. There's not a high chance of it, but the chance is there. That's kind of the phrasing that they probably wanted to say. But again, they just have moderate, marginal, high. So because of the chance for this tornado outbreak, they probably talked about it and just said, we're just gonna put out a high risk. And it busted, because when you put out these very high risks of something, whether it's the high severe thunderstorm risk, a nor'easter, a blizzard, if you say there's a chance of 2 feet of snow, there's a huge chance of a bust as well. Finish my glass. So that's what it looked. That's what I think happened that day specifically. And also, I keep forgetting about this. I have to. That may be one of the first videos I actually edit on my new computer system. Is the 2018 recap, because I do want to get out the May 15th, 2018. I was sitting right here with this setup and watching those tornadoes come through the area. And that's when I came in. I was like, oh, it's a pretty nice day, kind of like this. And then I started seeing the clouds, and I'm watching the radar. And I see on the radar it's getting really close to where I am. And I'm just like, all right, guys, I got to go. I got to pack up everything. That's where I actually, that was one of the times I was both excited to see it and fearful for what would happen with this massive tornado outbreak from May 15th, 2018. So I think I still want to edit that video, the 2018 recap overall, and that's going to be a highlight is the May 15th tornado outbreak from 2018. Let me know, guys, in the comments. Do you want to see my 2018 recap video from all my YouTube content? I started it, but I never got to finish it. So is it too late right now? Because we are halfway through 2019 and I haven't gotten the recap of 2018 out. But let me know whether it's this live stream, after the live stream, in other videos. Definitely let me know if you're interested in seeing this 2018 recap video. Okay. So we talked about quite a bit today. And I think I'm just going to wrap it up here. A little recap of what we covered. So we started off with the satellite stuff and just looked at the radar. And it looked like the high pressure was going to stay in our area for the rest of today. But as it moves out, this high pressure gradient with the wind, it's going to continue. And when it continues, it's going to add in wind. So we're going to have a windy and rainy day for tomorrow. So you got to keep that in mind for anything you're doing in the Northeast tomorrow. Heavy rain in the morning, maybe some thunderstorms, possibly some thunderstorms later on in the day, but it's going to be tapering off really after the morning, maybe going through till about 2 p.m. tomorrow. Friday looks like an okay day. It's just still going to be breezy. Saturday's the same thing, and that's when we're having that high pressure kind of scoot to the south of us. Not really a higher pressure gradient, but it's going to be enough to keep us in the clear conditions. Going into Sunday, that's when we could be seeing some more showers and maybe some more rain or maybe even a thunderstorm overnight Sunday into Monday. And then again, Monday, we could be seeing maybe not like last Monday with just torrential downpours throughout the afternoon, but on again, off again with the severe storms. Low risk. I don't really think it's going to be that high of a risk of severe storms. But again, this is kind of like the conversation I was saying before. The potential, it's low, but definitely keep in mind that. And then going into Tuesday, that's where there was a big difference. For instance, the GFS showed clear skies. The icon showed it looked like rain for Tuesday. So to get all of the latest weather content from whether I upload a video or I go live like this, definitely hit that subscribe button below and that little bell icon right next to that. So you do get notified whenever I give you guys new content for the weather. Usually on Thursdays, I have my Full Throttle Thursday, but not tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm changing up the schedule. I'm going to have my Games and Storms live stream tomorrow because this week is E3. Big week for gaming. Bethesda, AMD, Microsoft, they've all had big announcements. We're going to be talking about E3. We're going to be talking about some of the announcements. We'll put some weather in there as well. And then we're going to be playing some of these games, or at least some of the usual games I play tomorrow. Friday is going to be the usual weekend outlook forecast video, usually in the evening, say between 7 and 9 o'clock at night. So definitely look forward to that. And not sure what I'm going to be doing over the weekend. It is Father's Day weekend. So again, for Sunday on Father's Day, it doesn't look like as good of a day as Saturday. But check back on Friday for that weekend outlook full forecast. If you like the gaming, definitely check back tomorrow for the Games and Storms live stream. And that will wrap up this live stream here. I hope you all enjoyed. I enjoyed the conversation talking with all of you. And Pete, thank you for that. Sure, why not? So, yeah, I'll put out my 2018 recap video, looks like. Why can't you just put tornado outbreak highlights? I mean, I could have a video of tornado outbreak highlights, but I might as well just have the whole video since I started already for the 2018 rewind. So again, thank you, Pete. Thank you, Raymond, Techman. I saw you in there. Delvin, thank you again. We got the sunrise, sunset. We only have a little bit more time until the sunrise and sunset start shrinking and we start losing daylight again. We still got about 10 days left until that happens. So enjoy these longer days until then. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. Have a great rest of your day on this beautiful sunny afternoon. Thank you for joining, and I will see you all in the next video.